Have you ever sewn something that you were really excited about, but in the end you were just meh about? This was me earlier this week. Hi, I'm Izzy, and if you're new around here, my channel is all about sewing garments, quilts, and bags. And today's video is all about my new Evanston blouse or Evanston vest by Love Notions, which I have made in collaboration with the wonderful Carole from So Carole. Now, before we move on and chat about the vest itself and the pattern and so on, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about how this collaboration came to be. So, I was sitting one weekend morning having my coffee. I got a message from Carole saying, "Did you see this? Do you want to make it? Do you want to do a collaboration?" And it was the Evanston blouse, vest. Why do I keep wanting to call it blouse? Vest by Love Notions. Now, I had seen that pattern when it first came out, and I really wanted to make it. So right away I said, yeah, I could use a vest in my wardrobe. They're fun, they're cute. I used to wear them a lot, like way back. So I was like, why not? And in my mind, right away, I could picture me wearing the vest, button up. I was gonna make the longer version, wear it with a turtleneck, some leggings. It was gonna be a super cute outfit for being around the house, running errands, that kind of thing. So right away, I said, yes, absolutely. We are making this vest and it's gonna be awesome. Now, in hindsight, I think a few things were red flags and went against me in this whole process. So let's talk about that. But before we do, I'm going to put a link to Carole's video for her vest because her vest turned out really cute. And you really should go and check hers out after you're done here. All right, so let's talk about what really should have been red flags for me. Before I make any pattern, or before I buy even a pattern, typically I go look at tester pictures. I search for the hashtag on Instagram. I want to see the made up pattern or the made garment on a bunch of different body types, body shapes. You know, I just want to see the thing, try and spot any fit issues, any construction issues, or even if the style is going to suit my body shape or help me achieve my body shape goals. So of course I did this with the vest, right? So I went on Instagram, really not a lot of pictures, and most were from testers. Now, nothing against testers or brand ambassadors. That's all really good. But in the back of my mind, I'm always wondering, is this really a true, I don't know, are you posting this picture in the very best position, light, you know, your hands in your pocket to mask the fact that your pockets are gaping, or your hand like this because you've got this huge thing going on here? Like, I don't really trust overly styled pictures on Instagram or even in tester pictures for pattern companies. So I take all of that with a grain of salt. But I couldn't find a single person who had made the long version of the vest with the full bust option. And only two people, like two testers, have made or had made the longer version. And they looked great on them. They were, I'm pretty sure, were using the regular bust. But anyways, but that was red flag number one for me. Like, why would there not be any tester photos of the long version, fully buttoned up, and the full bust piece. Yeah, so red flag number 1. Sewing this up was not as fun as I hoped it would be. Not that it was complicated, because let's face it, there's nothing complicated about this vest, but there were issues. First of all, the instructions did not feel like regular Love Notions instructions. For me, they felt a little bit rushed. They were lacking some of the details they usually put in their patterns. Also, and again, I mean, this could be me, but the way the pattern is written, you jump a lot. So if you're doing this, go here. If you're doing that, go there. And if the instructions for hemming the long view are included in the pattern, I completely miss them. So, and that might be a fault of mine. I follow instructions to a T. I'm that kind of sewer. If you went through the trouble of drafting something and then writing out instructions for them, I'm just going to follow your instructions. I'm going to build the garment the way you intended for me to build it, unless I see something that absolutely does not make sense. But I was on autopilot because I thought this thing was super easy, and I just followed the instructions and didn't realize that the instructions made me sew the neckband on the garment before hemming it. And there's no hemband on the long version. The long version, you're supposed to just press it up and stitch it down. But if I put the neckline or the neckband on first, then I have a finished neckband with an unfinished hem. I was so confused, you guys. So I ended up fudging it and I made it work, but I was like, wow, for something that should be so simple, why is this confusing me? Again, it could be me. Maybe I was on autopilot and I missed something. But yeah, I was very, very frustrated with this thing. Now, issue number 3. The pockets on this vest are ridiculously small. Like my hands can barely fit in them. And I went back and looked at tester photos, and I should have noticed that, like red flag number 3. The pockets really look small on everybody, and all of the pictures with the hands in the pockets, like they basically have just their fingers up to here in the pockets. Also, pattern designers out there, the pocket size on a size extra small should not be the same as the pocket size on a 5XL. Can we all agree that the pockets need to get bigger as the garment gets bigger to keep some sort of balance? And anyways, yeah, rant over. Pockets should be graded as well. Red flag number 4. I spend a lot of time in Facebook communities for the pattern companies that I really like and use a lot. So I was scrolling through the Facebook community for Love Notions and started noticing a few people, or actually quite a few people, who were making the vest and who were complaining about huge gaping in the armholes, and I mean big. So this here was, let me stand up so I could demonstrate this. So this here was coming out to here on some people, and in some cases it might have been the fabric stretching out, but it was happening to almost everybody who had done the full bust. So I started thinking to myself, okay, you're going to have issues with this, so don't put the sleeve band until you try this on. So I sewed the front to the back, put it on, and sure enough, I had about this much room between my body and the garment right at the armpit, which was ridiculous. So I shaved off So this was after I'd sewn this side seam. So I ended up shaving an additional 1/2 inch off the seam allowance. So taking off a full inch at both sides, tapering to nothing at the sides to bring everything in. And then of course I adjusted the armbands so that it would fit in the new armhole that I created. But red flag again, like, if one person makes the garment and there's a little bit of gaping and the fabric is super stretchy, you're like, okay, maybe it's, you know, the person. But when most of the people making the garment end up with the exact same issue, that's a drafting issue. I'm sorry, but come on. So anywho, I managed to make it work somehow. But yeah, I was a little, by then I was a little bit discouraged. And I have to say, had it not been for the fact that I'd committed to doing this collaboration with Carole, this thing would have been in the recycling bin. I would not have finished it. But I persevered, I did it. And what really helped is that Carole and I were texting pictures of our makes throughout the whole process. We had a ton of laughs. We laughed about my gaping armholes and the fact that I thought the garment looked really strange on me. Yeah, we had a great time. And I have to say, doing this collab with Carole is what saved this whole thing for me. Because the garment is not a great success, but doing it with Carole was. So there's that. So what I had hoped would be a great layering piece for me to wear when I want to wear turtleneck, but the turtleneck feels a little bit boring on its own. Well, it really won't be working that way. I mean, to be honest, I don't love anything about this garment. I don't love the fit. I think the sizing is wrong. I don't love how it fits me. I hate the color. Well, hate is a strong word. I don't like to use that word. I really dislike the color. I think this gray does absolutely nothing. Not only for me, it's boring as heck. Like, my style guideposts are polished, understated, fun. There's nothing polished about this vest. The fit is all kinds of wrong. I don't like the style on me. Oh, and it won't close properly without strain. So, yeah. So the fit isn't right. It's definitely not polished. I don't like the color. There's nothing fun about this. So the garment itself is a big, big failure, and I will probably never wear it. Now, at this point, there's no use putting all kinds of helpful suggestions in the comments, although I love that about you. I love how helpful you are, but I am beyond trying to salvage this. I don't like it. No matter what I do, I won't wear it. So yes, I would just love some empathy and some hugs in the comments. Now, there are a few lessons that I learned here, which I try to think about. When something goes wrong, what have I learned from this? So number one, collaborations are so much fun. Now, this was my third collaboration with Carole, I think. I've done a number of other ones, and every time I think to myself how fun they are. And this one was just really, really cool. Number two, I need to listen to my gut. I need to trust that I know enough now about fit, about sewing, that if something just does not look right or feel right, I need to listen to myself. So that's number two. And number three, I need to stop trying to wear gray. I don't like gray on me. I don't like gray, period. There's nothing fun about gray, and I need to stop buying it and trying to wear it, period. So 3 lessons here. Now, Carole, thank goodness, had a lot more success with her vest. So please go and check it out because it is super cute on her. There were times throughout this whole process where I wasn't sure Carole was loving hers either, but in the end, my personal opinion is that it's adorable and it looks really, really nice on her. So make sure you go and check it out. Now, besides all of the empathy and the hugs in the comments, I would love to know your disaster stories. So have you ever purchased a pattern and were so excited about it only to find in the end that you just didn't love it, didn't love the style, hated the fabric you chose, there were issues with the pattern? Put that in the comment and let me know I'm not the only one. Thank you so much for watching, and again, be sure to go and check out Carole's video. The link is going to be in the description box below. I'll see you soon.